Ethan stood frozen in the dark entryway of the house, the echo of the door slamming behind him still reverberating through the walls. His breath fogged in the cold air. Even though the night outside had been warm, the house had trapped him, again, only this time, he knew it wasn't just the house, there was something else inside, something that didn't want him here, something that whispered to him, "You shouldn't have come back." The voice still hung in the air like smoke. Ethan swallowed hard, squinting into the blackness. "Ava?" He whispered, no response, but he could sense her, or something, watching him from the top of the staircase. The faint flicker of the bulb above lit the banister in a dull, trembling glow. He forced himself to take a step forward, the floor creaked under his weight, and immediately, the whispering began. Soft at first, like the sound of someone breathing 3 rooms away, then closer, closer, until he could feel the vibrations in his chest. Then. It was Ava. But her voice was strained, as if pulled from somewhere far beyond the walls. He climbed the stairs slowly, gripping the railing with shaking fingers. When he reached the top, the flickering bulb steadied, but the hallway had changed, the walls seemed narrower, the shadows deeper. And at the end, where there had always been a blank wall, a door now stood, a door Ethan had never seen. A door that did not belong. Its wood was darker than the others, almost charred, as if burned long ago. The doorknob was cold metal, tarnished and blackened. No light leaked from beneath it, but he could hear something behind it, a faint shuffling, a slow scrape on the floorboards. Breathing, Ethan took a shaky step toward it. "Ava?" He whispered. The shuffling stopped. Silence. He reached for the handle. And the moment his fingers touched it, the entire house sighed, a long, low exhale that sounded almost human. Then the knob turned by itself. The door swung inward. Inside was darkness so complete it felt alive. Ethan fumbled for the light switch on the wall. Nothing. But then, a faint glow flickered from somewhere deeper in the room. Candlelight, soft and pulsing. Ethan stepped inside. The air was stale, as if no one had breathed it in years. Dust coated the floor, disturbed only by faint footprints, small ones, leading toward the far corner. "Ava?" He tried again. A soft whisper drifted out of the dark. "Run." Ethan froze. Then the candlelight brightened, revealing a small figure crouched in the corner, a girl. Her long hair hung like a curtain, her dress was wrinkled and dirty, her shoulders shook with silent sobs. "Ava." Ethan breathed. She lifted her head slowly, too slowly, revealing a face pale as moonlight. Her eyes shimmered with tears and fear. "You shouldn't be here," she whispered. Ethan swallowed. "I want to help you." Her expression twisted, not into anger, but into sorrow. "You can't help me." "Why not?" "Because he's awake." Before Ethan could respond, the candle beside her extinguished, plunging the room into crushing darkness. And then, a sound, not footsteps, not breathing, a dragging, heavy, rhythmic, coming from the doorway. Ethan backed away instinctively, nearly tripping over scattered floorboards. His heartbeat thundered so loudly he could barely hear Ava when she whispered sharply, "Hide." "What, now?" He dove behind an old wooden wardrobe just as the dragging sound grew louder. The door groaned open wider, and the temperature dropped violently. Ethan dared to peek through a crack in the wardrobe. A tall, shadowed figure entered the room. Its movements were slow, deliberate, its legs bent at odd angles, as though broken and reassembled wrong. Its arms hung too long, swaying with unnatural weight. It stopped right in front of Ava. Ethan's breath caught. Ava stood perfectly still, her back straight, her face blank, like someone had flipped a switch inside her. The figure leaned in, its face lost in darkness, and then it spoke, in a voice that scraped like metal dragged on stone. "She is mine." Ava blinked but didn't speak. "She called you," the thing continued, turning slightly, its head tilting as if sniffing the air. "You heard her." Ethan felt the creature's awareness sweep the room like a cold wind. Then it took a step toward his hiding spot, a slow, horrible step. "Come out," it whispered, "I see you." Ethan clenched his teeth to stop them from chattering. The creature reached out, and then Ava moved, fast. She grabbed the candle from the floor, struck a match with trembling fingers, and pressed the flame to her own arm. The creature recoiled violently, shrieking, not in pain, but in fury, as the firelight flared. "Run!" Ava screamed. Ethan burst from the wardrobe and stumbled into the hallway. Ava pushed him, slamming the hidden room's door behind him. The house shook violently, the walls trembling like a living thing trying to break free of its skin. A deep, terrible pounding came from behind the door, each blow stronger than the last. Ethan grabbed Ava's wrist. "Downstairs. Now." They sprinted down the hall, but halfway through, Ava yanked her hand away. "I can't go with you." She cried. "Why?" "He won't let me leave." Tears streamed down her face. "I'm tied to this place, to that room." Ethan shook his head desperately. "There has to be a way, Ava, there is." She lowered her gaze. "But it's not for me." The pounding behind the door grew louder, the walls began to crack. Ava stepped back slowly, her form flickering like a glitch in an old film. "Find my name," she whispered. Ethan stared. "Your name? I know your name." She shook her head weakly. "You don't know the whole of it." "What does that mean?" "Find my real name," she whispered. "The name he took. The name that can break the tether. Ava, just come." But before he could reach her, she was jerked backward as if grabbed by invisible hands and dragged into the darkness. The hallway lights exploded one by one. Ethan was thrown to the ground as the house roared, not with wind, but with a deep, furious growl that vibrated through the floorboards. The hidden door splintered open below them, a cold rush of air swept up the stairs, and the voice, that horrible, scraping voice, echoed through the entire house. "She is mine, and so are you." Ethan scrambled to his feet and sprinted down the stairs, nearly tumbling as the walls buckled and the furniture slid across the floor. He crashed through the front door, only to find the world outside warped. Night had fallen, but the street was gone, the trees were gone, the sky was a swirling mass of red and black, like a storm trapped in a dome. The house floated in a landscape that didn't belong to Earth, an endless, shifting sea of darkness. Ethan's chest tightened. He turned to run back inside, but the door had vanished. The entire front wall of the house was now solid. No door, no windows, just a flat surface of rotting wood. And then, behind him, a soft whisper, "Ethan." He turned. Ava stood several feet away, her body faintly translucent, her eyes wide with terror. "You have to hurry," she said. "How do I find your real name?" She opened her mouth to answer. But something yanked her backward violently. Her scream was swallowed by the darkness as she was dragged into the swirling void. Ethan lunged after her, and the ground beneath him shattered. He fell into the darkness that swallowed everything. As he tumbled through the void, a single phrase echoed around him, carved into the darkness like a warning: "The name unwritten binds the soul." Then everything went black. TOB continued. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more.